I know that Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, said that quantum computer was very far, and I covered that in my previous video. But today, I'm gonna show you three different companies that are developing quantum technology. I'm gonna compare them and show what are the key advantages to invest or not in each one of these companies. Because we will never know what will be the catalyzer. The same way that ChatGPT was the catalyzer for AI is going to happen in the quantum world. We don't know when, we don't know how, but what we know is there gotta be indications when new supercomputers are developed, and specifically quantum computers. So get ready for this video and let's go and analyze all these quantum stocks.
So let me begin with a question from one subscriber, and you can also do the same. So Cartier, after he watched the video, top three penny stocks to buy now in January 2025, he asked, can you cover Ionic? And you are in luck, Cartier, because I'm covering this type of quantum stocks. And the first one is Ionic. And I chose this one because this company is very interesting in terms of the technology, but also the connections with the government. And here we are seeing the Treasury Secretary nominee talking about the importance of quantum computing in defense, in governments. And actually, in his testification process, he talked about companies such as Ionic and the relevance for national security. That's the most important thing that you can get it. Second, when you analyze President Trump, what kind of stocks will be benefit from what is happening? Well, from one side, you have his buddy Elon Musk. For the other side, you have his investor Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders of Palantir. In the other side, you have TSMC, which are the producers of the most important microchips in the world. And the fourth side, you have Coinbase. But some people believe that Ionic could be that quantum computing stock that will benefit the most. And this is very important because at the end, governments they push some stocks more than other ones. And what I like about them is that they really combine both research with the governments and academia. And that's the reason they joined what they call the $1 billion Capital of Quantum Initiative. I remember a couple of years ago when I did a presentation in Cali, Colombia, and then someone from the local government say, "Hey, Francisco, how do we invest in quantum computers?" And I said, "Man, that's pretty cool, but the money that you require to build quantum computers will be bigger than the budget from all the region. So you cannot do that. I'm sorry, my friend Pedro. Hello to Pedro. But Q Ionic, they have been doing this, and this is gonna give them an advantage in the future because remember, if you have university, you have local government and national government supporting you, well, that's gonna be very interesting. And what I like about is one of the most expected computers that they have, the Ionic Tempo, and they have 64 qubits. And if you don't understand quantum computing, it's complicated. But at the end, imagine that the new computers they will have multiple states. So you have normally in a normal computer 0 and 1, and the computer always chooses 1 or 0. But in a quantum computer, when the quantum enters, it could be simultaneously 0 and 1. And that's applying the Schrodinger principle, which at the end, you don't know what is happening because at the end, quantum computers are so complex that are like a black box. So really managing the quantum realm, not I'm talking about Marvel movies, is what gives the advantage in this sense. So the cool thing is that in 2025, they're launching one of the most powerful computers. And they had an agreement with the US Naval and Research Laboratory. So think about that. The government is always thinking how they can implement new technologies, specifically quantum computing technology. And Ionic was the first one of all the quantum computer stocks that I'm going to tell you today. Remember, there are more than two other stocks. And if you really like what I'm talking about, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share. And the key thing about this research is that this will prepare the naval forces to understand how to implement quantum computers within their operations. And let's go to the financials, because this is one of the areas that people criticize quantum computer companies. And I did that in a video based on Jason Huang's presentation of the CES. So check this. They're growing very steady. Think about 2020 was 2.1 million, then 11 million, then 22 million, then 37 million. And by 2024, they're going to reach more than in 2023. So they're a very stable company in terms of their growth. Okay, some people said, Francisco, but the forward price to sales ratio is 73 times. So it's like some people say that these companies are overpriced based on fundamentals. And my recommendation for you is you don't analyze these companies only based in fundamentals. You analyze based on future growth and their potential. So the first company, Ionic, which is a $10 billion company, I will recommend you to buy it. Remember always the cycle under 35. If you can find it under 30, it's a going buying opportunity. But also, this company is more like a long term investment. Okay, so you can start DCAing into Ionic today. Now, what do you think is the second quantum company that I have chosen? Let's go for it. Well, is RGTI or Rigetti. Rigetti. It reminds me the movie from Tarantino. You remember that scene that Christopher Waltz was asking the infiltrate, like, what is your name? And the guy just, Margarita, Margarita. And Christopher Waltz said, can you repeat it? Margarita. Am I saying that right? Margarita. Brad Pitt, great movie. But it's called Rigetti, and this is the stock price. And Rigetti, what is very interesting that I'm seeing, it has a big community, and this is very important for stocks in these days. It's not only about the fundamentals; the financial fundamentals are very important, but sometimes when people are crazy about a stock, it just grows. And they did discussion, and they said, with quantum stocks rebounding after a sharp sell-off, which one are you most bullish on? And top one was Rigetti. Very interesting. More than 11,000 votes. So it's like big community. Think about that. This is an advantage of Rigetti compared to Ionic. Now, based on that, and when you analyze the fundamentals and technical analysis, what you can see is that this company has more volatility than the other two companies that I'm covering today. Therefore, your strategy should be different. And this is crucial because some companies are for long term, some companies are just to enter and get out, some companies are for trading. Rigetti is the type of company that is very juicy for trading. And let's talk about their supercomputer of 84 qubits. Well, the capacity of a quantum computer is measuring qubits. The more qubits, the better. Okay, so think about that when I'm talking about the numbers of qubits. So it's a very powerful computer. Yes. And this is the beauty thing. From all the ones, they have a partnership with DARPA. And do you remember who's DARPA? Well, the internet was created within DARPA. It's like the most interesting research laboratory ever from the US government. And they have this partnership with Rigetti. So they can develop new applications with quantum computers. And that's the key thing. So at the end, when I'm looking about Rigetti, it's the kind of company that also has government contracts. And having government contracts, well, that's where the big money comes. Just ask Tesla. Just ask Elon Musk how much money he has made through government contracts. He made a lot of his billions due to government contracts with SpaceX and government benefits for Tesla. So think about that when you're also analyzing computers and stocks, because the stocks that could rise will come a lot from those government contracts. And that's what you have to keep in mind when you're thinking in analyzing stocks. And Rigetti is pretty good at that.
All tech, no balance? This AI portfolio needs help. Let's roast it. Stop guessing and get the truth about your portfolio. I'm offering a 10-minute personalized roast that cuts through the noise and gives you a brutally honest reality check. I'll tell you what's great, what's holding you back, and exactly how to improve. And the best part, you'll get your full analysis in just 72 hours. Go to franciscamoney.com or click the link below to book your roast today. Let's fix your portfolio and get you on the path to real results.
Now, let's check their numbers. 2020, less than a million, but then they just grew like crazy in 2021, 8 million. 2022, 13, but then like 2022 was their peak as Rigetti. And now 2023, less, 9% decline, and then 2024 is being calculated 20% decline. So this is worrisome because it's like compared to the first one that I cover of the Ionic that is just growing, Rigetti is not growing. So this could be a very negative point, but it will be a great company to buy for trading. Okay. I will not put this, and remember, none of my videos are financial advice, but personally, I will not put Rigetti as a long term investment. I will just enter. If you can find it under $6, that would be great. Of course, this company can go to 20, even to $30, and you have to have your strategy very clear. So my strategy will be enter when it's less than $6, and then sell when it's 12, sell when it's 18, and sell when it's 22. Okay. And in that way, I'm making money in each ones. Also, this one could be good for futures as well, and it's under 4 billion, so very interesting. Okay, so think about that. If you want to trade more, this is the kind of company for you. The first one was more long term. Okay, so now let's go to the third one. What is the third stock? And of course, there are other quantum stocks, but some of them have been accused for malinformation, scam, and other things. That's the reason I will not put them in the list. So we have D Wave. D Wave, you can find it QBTS. And D Wave is like the granddad of the quantum stocks. And what I like it is that they launch in 2025 what they call a Leap Quantum Launchpad program. What does it mean? It's very simple. Imagine that you want to show how powerful is a quantum computer. Now compared to a computer, especially in the age of AI, that we can do so many things with AI, with large language models. So it's like you have a GPU, or I have hundreds of GPU with LLMs. I can do a lot of stuff today. So when I compare to quantum, what will happen? And that's why they launched this program. So people, and especially companies, can start using for specific use cases. Okay. And that I like. Another great thing about D-Wave is that they have international partnerships as well. If you go to Germany, they install more than 5,000 qubits computer system that is being used by universities, research centers, and local companies. So it's like they already have their footprint in the European market, because at the end, everyone will want a quantum computer. Of course, it's like you can do so many things, such a great thing. Of course, and that's an advantage that QBTS has that none of the two previous companies that I covered has. And this is very important. So when you're analyzing and thinking about stocks, QBTS is more the international outlook. And that is what they're focusing. And even though they're even doing partnerships, so you can do research on areas such as nuclear energy and energy optimization, which is not common when you're thinking about nuclear. But nuclear and quantum, that's crazy. And especially um, when Trump government launched the $500 billion Stargate program, they will need to build new nuclear reactors in the States, in Texas. But the US hasn't built nuclear reactors in decades. It's like they just built one, very mediocre in Maryland. It's not like China that is just building nuclear reactors like I'm doing YouTube videos. And if you like, subscribe. uh, so they're looking for new use cases, and they announce the advantage 2 processor. Imagine this: it's like you have pure research and development, and then you just announce a monster 4400 qubit quantum processor. Okay, so check the interesting thing about quantum. Even though, remember, the previous processor had 5,000 qubit system. Remember, one thing is a computer that has the number of qubits, the other is a system that is a connection of quantum computers. The new one is 4,400, so it's less, but it's 25,000 times faster. That's great. Man, when we're talking about exponential growth, that is exponential growth. That is how cool it is, this company, D-Wave. And let's check their numbers. This is very important. You can see in the graph that is growing steadily. Compare the first stock, Ionic, better. They have better revenue. Rigetti, they have more revenue, but they're going down in revenue. While Qubit is like, yeah, I'm slow, I'm steady. I'm like Qubit is like a turtle of the quantum stocks. And remember that the turtle always beats their rabbit. So one of the key things that is happening, and I will recommend if you're interested in quantum computers, is this report from the World Economic Forum. Big hug to all my friends from the Global Shapers community, great community. But it's called Embracing the Quantum Economy. And what I like about the report is like, think about quantum computers not only in cybersecurity, which is the number one use case, of course, because it's like the Americans want to break encryptions from the Chinese want to break encryptions from the Americans, the Russians want to break encryptions. So they need to develop their super quantum computers, correct? But no, healthcare. Imagine if a quantum computers used to discover new types of vaccines, new types of cures for disease. That's the key. Logistics. Man, you just ask so many things from Amazon. What if you can just optimize the process? So this report is very good and is very good for all the companies that I have covered here. And another key, my recommended book from Chris Miller, he called it the chip war. And of course, the war is between the US and China. It's like in AI is US and China. In quantum computers is US and China. The rest is like no one, like literally, like nothing. Like you cannot do anything. We're sorry. like nothing. And the NSA, the CIA, the security agencies, they need quantum computers to protect themselves, but also to attack foreign agents. So what they were gonna do? They're gonna invest in the okay. You have this computer, I put money. You have this computer, I put money. You have this computer, I put money. So they will have a diversified portfolio of investments as you. So the wave, the good thing of the list, this is the one with the lowest market cap. It's less than $2 billion. So this is a company that if it keeps performing well in the next years is a good long-term investment, but also it could deliver computers internationally. So I'm seeing a stock that can go up to $60 per stock in the next 10 years. Of course, develop your strategy. Your strategy, you should always take profits beforehand. Remember, always. And the key question is, what company do you want me to cover next? Follow and leave in the comments below. And if you like it, subscribe.